These foreigners think that they're rescuing a poor, helpless woman from a hard life, and in return, they'll get a submissive partner who worships the ground they walk on. Have you ever heard of a story of a foreigner who meets a Filipina, and this foreigner is head over heels in love with her? He showers her with money, lots of gifts, and promises her a better lifestyle. Well, I think most of you all know that that type of foreigner always end up being scammed, or worse, being used by a Filipina. That's why we'll hear a lot of these tragic stories about this type of foreigner-Filipino relationship, but who's really at fault here? Are Filipinas really the villain of the story? Or is it the foreigner's fault for the reasons that he's feeling like he's being used? Well, for today's episode, buckle up because today's topic is going to ruffle some feathers. Are Filipinos to blame when foreigners feel used? But before everything else, just a quick disclaimer. This is not to generalize all Filipinas or foreigners in relationships, but rather to explore the dynamics that may lead to feelings of being used in certain situations. Also, please don't be so quick to judge and say negative things about me just because of my perspective and the way I see things. Now let's dive into this topic, this controversial topic, and try to understand both perspectives involved in these types of relationship. Let us start with the most basic one. So when foreigners say that they feel used, what do they actually mean? Most of the time, it is about the financial means, paying for everything, sending money to her family who probably doesn't have work, sending gifts for her and her family, or funding a lifestyle that he never signed up for. And let's be honest, financial disparities are often a huge factor in these relationships, especially in a relationship where there's a big age gap. Foreigners, especially Western men, tend to have more financial stability compared to an average Filipino. And as most of you all know, Western men have more access to a better life than most Filipinos have. So if you grew up as a poor Filipino, there's not a lot of chance to better your lifestyle. So if you are in a relationship with a Filipina who doesn't have a good income, more than probably you are expected to help support her family, to change her lifestyle, and provide for her in ways that may not have been initially anticipated. Many times, you might feel like an outcast and only treated as an ATM. But here's the kicker. Did she ask for that support, or did he assume that's what she wanted? In the Philippines, supporting our family is not our choice, but rather it is a cultural expectation. It is ingrained in our lives that if someone in our family is successful, he or she should help the family who is struggling. Now, is it fair to call Filipinas users when she's simply living her cultural value? I mean, think about it. Most of us, Filipinos, don't grow up with the same Western ideals of individualism. So when a foreigner complains that his Filipino partner is asking for too much, isn't he ignoring the context of her life? Does that mean that every Filipina who asks for financial help is using her partner? Absolutely not. For many, it's about survival and meeting basic needs. But here's where things get murky. There are Filipinas who know how to exploit the situation. They understood, or they understand, that some foreigners will pay for anything. They believe it's helping their partner or her family. And yes, some women take advantage of this, and we all know that not every Filipina is innocent. There are women who exploit foreigners for money and then milk them dry till they disappear, asking for gifts or even visas to go to another country and have a life that the Filipina perceives as better than what she currently has in the Philippines. They'll even promise love and loyalty, but no intention of staying in the relationship once they get what they want. But why is it easy for men to fall into these kind of traps? I mean, come on, guys. There's a lot of videos online that expose these kinds of scams and warn men to be cautious. Yet, some still choose to ignore the signs. Is it because some foreigners comes to the Philippines wearing those rose-colored glasses? Think about it. Some foreigners come to the Philippines and enter these relationships with minimal to no understanding of what a Filipino culture is. They don't ask questions or even they don't set boundaries. Instead, all they do is lead with money because they think that money can solve everything, right? They think that money can buy them love and loyalty. They have this preconception that a Filipina should be sweet, should be loyal, family-oriented, etc., just because he's providing for her financially. These foreigners think that they're rescuing a poor, helpless woman from a hard life, and in return, they'll get a submissive partner who worships the ground they walk on. But here's the problem with that mindset. Not every Filipina is desperate, and they are not looking for a foreigner to save them. If a foreigner enters a relationship expecting to control a Filipina with his money, then he's setting himself up for failure. So when the relationship doesn't turn out the way the foreigner imagined, they feel cheated or used. They feel betrayed when the reality doesn't match their fantasy. But ask yourself this: who set the tone for the relationship? So if a man offers money or gifts without being asked, is it fair to call the woman a user? So who's really to blame when relationships go south? Is it the Filipina for using her partner, or is the foreigner for entering the relationship with unrealistic expectations? Maybe the issue here is that many of these relationships are built on fantasy and illusions rather than reality. At the end of the day, both sides need to take responsibility, of course. Foreigners should stop leading with their wallets, assuming that money can earn the love or the loyalty that they wanted, and Filipinas should be honest about their intentions. If you as a Filipina are in on it because you can get financial stability, just say so. If you're not really interested in your partner, don't string him along and give false hope. At the end of the day, blaming each other doesn't really solve anything. Being transparent with each other is the key. What do you guys think? Are Filipinas really to blame when foreigners feel used? Or is this the case of mutual misunderstanding? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm ready for a debate. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.